Hey, the anointed ones are here. When God steps in to protect his chosen, even the boldest schemes crumble to dust. Just imagine this: someone so rattled by your light, your resilience, and your strength that they're sneaking around, digging up anything they think could tarnish your name. They think they can manipulate destiny itself. Investigate. So, let's talk about the anointed ones. When God steps in to protect his chosen, even the boldest schemes crumble. Imagine this: someone is so rattled by your light, your resilience, and your strength that they resort to sneaking around, digging up anything they think could tarnish your name. They assume they can manipulate destiny itself, investigate, expose, control. But here's the twist they didn't see coming. They just got exposed trying to expose you. In fact, statistics show that nearly 80% of people who obsess over others' lives are simply projecting their own insecurities. Yet they think they're on a mission to uncover the truth. It's almost laughable the lengths they'll go to just to disrupt. They tried to expose you, but it backfired. Statistics show that 80% of people who obsess over others' lives are just projecting their own insecurities. Yet they think they're on a mission to uncover the truth. They'll go to great lengths to disrupt a chosen one's peace, only to be met by a divine roadblock. Today, we're diving deep into why any attempt to investigate or pry into your life backfires spectacularly. God didn't just shut down their plans, he exposed their hidden motives for the world to see. So grab some popcorn because we're about to get into the irony, the humor, and the epic protection. When you're chosen, privacy is like your firstborn child. When you're one of the chosen, your life has layers that are off limits to the public. There's a level of privacy that's like a vault in a bank, and God himself protects it because he knows the strength of your journey. Those who try to dig into your past, sniffing around for mistakes or so they don't understand the boundaries they're crossing. They think they have a right to pick apart your life, to analyze and judge as if they could just decode what makes you different. But chosen ones are set apart, and that comes with a protection that can't be breached by curiosity or jealousy. People prying into your background are often driven by their own insecurities. They're insecure and want to find something that'll make them feel better about themselves. They see your resilience and calm under pressure, and it scares them. Instead of admiring your strength, they'd rather find something wrong to justify their discomfort. They can't stand that someone like you is flawless. Yet, they don't. They're insecure and want to find something to make themselves feel better. They see your resilience and calm in the face of pressure, and it makes them nervous. Instead of admiring your strength, they'd rather find something bad to justify their discomfort. They can't stand that you're flawless, but they can't bring themselves to say that. They don't realize that this curiosity isn't innocent. It's too invasive. When they try to cross a line, they hit a wall. God protects his chosen in ways they can't understand. Their plans fall apart because they're messing with something they don't understand. What's private stays private, and any attempt to expose you only circles back. It's a way of showing their own weaknesses. They end up frustrated, watching every attempt to bring you down fail, and it just shows how out of their league they are. In the end, they're left confused, embarrassed, and exposed, not because of anything you did, but because God won't allow anyone to mess with a chosen one's life without consequences. It's his way of saying this: it's a way of showing that someone is untouchable. It's also a way of exposing their own insecurities. People who dig into the background of a chosen one usually have an agenda, even if they're not fully aware of it themselves. Deep down, they're driven by insecurities, hoping to find something, anything, to make you seem more ordinary or flawed. Seeing someone with an unshakable sense of self makes them uneasy. It makes them realize that they don't have some of the qualities that they perceive you to have. Their curiosity isn't rooted in admiration, it's driven by a desperate need to find a flaw in what they see as your perfect exterior. They look at you and see someone who's confident and purposeful, and they're intimidated by that. Instead of asking themselves why they feel threatened, they look for flaws. Instead of asking themselves why they feel threatened, they try to flip the script by digging into your past or questioning your choices. It's their way of finding comfort, hoping that maybe they'll uncover something to knock you off your pedestal. But ironically, their attempts only shine a spotlight on their own weaknesses. God exposes these people because He knows that those who pry into your life are projecting. They're really just projecting their own insecurities onto you. They're hoping to diminish your power to make themselves feel whole, but their fixation ends up backfiring, revealing them as people who lack the very qualities they're so eager to find missing in you. While they're out there trying to turn over stones, they become the ones exposed, not for being investigators, but for being small. They're dealing with their own issues and insecurities. They're hoping to make you feel less whole, but it just ends up backfiring and showing everyone that they're the ones who are missing the qualities they're so eager to find in you. While they're out there digging up dirt, they end up being the ones exposed, not for being investigators, but for being small-minded. In the end, their actions show everyone just how fragile and insecure they really are. Instead of tarnishing your reputation, they end up tarnishing their own. The more they obsess over you, the more obvious it becomes to everyone else that they're the ones struggling to find value within themselves. God lets them expose themselves, revealing their insecurity and reminding you that no one can dim a light He's put within you. God's shield against jealous curiosity. Chosen ones live under a unique protection, a kind of spiritual shield that most people can't even begin to understand. When someone tries to pry into your life, attempting to dig up details or secrets they think could weaken you, they're going up against a boundary set by a force much. It's like they're trying to dig up secrets that are meant to stay hidden. They can only scratch the surface because they don't have access to the deeper parts of your journey. That shield is there to guard your purpose and the path that led you there. Those who try to bypass it end up confused and blocked at every turn. The frustration they feel isn't. It's not just because they're hitting dead ends, but because they realize there's something they can't see. They want to dissect you, figure you out, maybe even understand what makes you tick, but they're denied entry. God keeps certain things hidden because there's a part of you that's meant to stay untouched, unpolluted by those who they'd misuse it. It's not just about protecting your privacy. It's about making sure the essence of who you are, the parts of you that are key to fulfilling your purpose, remains untainted by outside influence. People who try to force their way into understanding you will inevitably stumble and fall. They don't have the blessing, insight or spiritual access needed to see what's behind the curtain. That inability to comprehend you, to see past your calm exterior, only adds to their frustration. They come face to face with the reality that their curiosity is outmatched by a divine protection that renders their efforts pointless. In trying to uncover what makes you different, they end up learning a harsh truth: chosen ones operate on a level that can't be reached by ordinary means. And in their failed attempts, God is saying loud and clear, this one is guarded. Keep your distance. Number 4, their illegal actions reflect their weak morals. When someone tries to investigate you behind the scenes, they end up learning a harsh truth. Chosen ones operate on a level that can't be reached by ordinary means. When someone tries to investigate you behind your back, they cross a line that goes beyond curiosity. It's a breach of basic moral integrity. People who stoop to such tactics aren't just being nosy, they're showing a willingness to invade and manipulate. The need to gather information on someone without their knowledge reveals more about them than anything they could ever tell you. It's not just a privacy issue, it's a reflection of weak morals, a lack of boundaries, and a sense of entitlement that says your life is mine to inspect. When God exposes these actions, it's more than just karma. It's divine judgment, an intentional revelation that peels back the mask they wear to thee. It's not just a privacy issue. It's a reflection of weak morals, a lack of boundaries, and a sense of entitlement that says your life is mine to inspect. When God exposes these actions, it's more than just karma. It's divine judgment, an intentional revelation that peels back the mask they wear to the world. Those who live in the shadows of deception are being forced to confront their own hypocrisy. They may claim to be trustworthy, to hold values, or to operate with good intentions, but their actions tell a very different story. God doesn't let such behavior go unchecked because he knows that people who live this way are those who live in the shadows of deception are being forced to face the fact that they're not as trustworthy as they claim. They may say they have values and intentions, but their actions tell a different story. God doesn't let this behavior go unchecked because he knows it's a threat not only to you, but also to others they might target in the future. This exposure becomes a lesson, a mirror that shows them the ugliness of their actions. They see themselves as people willing to betray, deceive, and manipulate to satisfy their own insecurities or agendas. And the irony is hard to ignore. The very actions they hoped would give them control or insight over you end up unraveling their own facade. Divine judgment doesn't just punish, it forces a reckoning. It's God's way of saying that those who try to harm his chosen through deceit will be seen for who they really are, people who operate in the dark because they fear the light of truth. Number 5. God protects what they can't understand. Chosen ones walk a path that's hard to understand. Their lives have depth, purpose, and resilience that can be confusing to outsiders. Outsiders may see glimpses of your life and think they can analyze or dissect it, but they're missing the big picture, the part they're not meant to see, that it's not about hiding, it's about protecting something sacred, something intentionally layered and shielded by God. When people try to pry into a chosen one's life, they quickly find themselves lost, unable to piece things together. God steps in, shutting down their attempts. It's not just about keeping you safe, it's about protecting your purpose. What they don't realize is that some details of your journey weren't meant for them. This divine protection is like a veil that keeps your story hidden from those who aren't meant to see it. It's a barrier between you and. It keeps your story hidden from people who might not understand it or use it for the wrong reasons. Others might be confused by this protection. They expect to find simple answers or maybe even weaknesses, but they can't. They can't access the deeper parts of your journey and are left with questions they'll never be able to answer. This frustration is by design, a reminder that there are boundaries they cannot cross, no matter how curious or determined they might be. God's protection over chosen ones is not just about safety. It's a statement that some lives are woven with a sacred complexity. What others cannot comprehend is not theirs to dissect. They're left facing the truth that there are things beyond their understanding, aspects of your path that are untouchable, protected by a divine hand that allows only what aligns with. When people try to pry into your life, they often end up with an unexpected result, their own darkness staring back at them. Your energy, grounded and resilient, acts like a mirror, reflecting their intentions right back. They might come into your space with motives to uncover, expose, or control, but all they find is a harsh reflection of their own inadequacies, weaknesses, and unresolved issues. Instead of gaining insight into you, they end up confronting the parts of themselves they'd rather ignore. It's like they're saying, "Hey, I've got some stuff going on in my own life, and you're not the expert here." Your energy is like a mirror. If people try to pry into your life, they'll probably just see their own darkness reflected back at them. You've got a grounded and resilient energy, and it acts like a mirror. If people come into your space with motives to uncover, expose, or control, they'll end up facing their own inadequacies, weaknesses, and unresolved issues. It's an irony that never fails. The more they seek flaws or vulnerabilities in you, the more they're forced to confront their own. Your energy becomes a silent but powerful force, challenging them to see the real reasons behind their curiosity. Instead of confirming their assumptions or feeding their ego, they're met with uncomfortable truths about themselves. Maybe they wanted to find something in you that would justify their own insecurities, but instead, they're left with a reminder of their own inner struggles. It's interesting how the more they look for flaws, the more they're forced to deal with their own issues. Your energy becomes this silent but powerful force that makes them face the real reasons behind their curiosity. Instead of confirming their assumptions or feeding their ego, they're met with uncomfortable truths about themselves. Maybe they wanted to find something in you that would justify their own insecurities, but instead, they're left with a reminder of their own inner struggles. This reflection is part of why chosen ones often have such a polarizing effect on people. Your grounded, authentic energy doesn't tolerate deceit or ill intentions. Instead, it magnifies them, turning their focus back onto themselves. Those who look at you with pure intentions might see inspiration and strength, but those who approach with hidden agendas are met with an unsettling look at their own shadows. This mirroring effect isn't something you consciously create, it's simply the nature of a life. When you're on the same page as the greater good, it's like you've got a spotlight on your back, and people can see what you're up to without you having to say a word. They might try to dig for secrets or pick you apart, but they'll just end up showing their own flaws and fears. If people start digging into your life, it's like they're digging up their own problems. And when folks try to dig into someone's life, they might unknowingly start a chain reaction that ends up eating them alive. God has a way of making things happen. It's a way of turning their intentions around so that what they sought to disrupt in your life only makes things worse for them. It's not some mystical curse or supernatural revenge. It's just their own negative energy bouncing right back to them. By overstepping spiritual boundaries and prying into a life they were never meant to access, they invite chaos into their own life. It's like a boomerang effect. When someone projects negativity or malice, that same energy inevitably returns to them. Source: they think they're acting in secrecy, hidden from consequences, but they're blind to how spiritual laws operate. Energy is never neutral, and when it's directed with harmful intent, it has a way of circling back. They're prying and probing stir-up disruptions, not just in your life, but in their own world. They end up facing issues that mirror the chaos they intended for you, finding themselves caught in a whirlwind they set in motion. In trying to expose you, they become exposed. They struggle with sudden problems, broken relationships or unexpected setbacks that seem to come out of nowhere. It's a sign of the imbalance they tried to create in your life, but now it's happening to them. This isn't just karma, but a big lesson on respect and boundaries. God's protection over chosen ones makes sure that those who overstep learn the hard way that violating someone's spiritual space is an invitation for disorder. In the end, they understand that messing with a chosen one isn't just futile, it's self-destructive. Destructive. Their problems aren't a punishment, but a natural result of ignoring spiritual laws that are always changing. Number 8. Their intrusion shows they're afraid of what they don't know. When people intrude into a chosen one's life, it often reveals a fundamental fear they carry, a fear of what they don't understand or control. Their digging isn't just about satisfying curiosity, it's driven by a deeper anxiety. They sense that there's something powerful and unique about your path, something they can't put it into a box or manipulate it. This unknown makes them uneasy, so they try to counter it by prying into your background, hoping to find something that will give them a sense of control over what they can't comprehend. God's exposure of their actions shines a light on this underlying paranoia, revealing their fear in its rawest form. They try to mask it as harmless. They might act like they're just curious or concerned, but the truth is, they're afraid of what you're up to. This isn't about finding secrets or weaknesses. It's about them being desperate to figure out what makes you different. They're unsettled by the fact that you seem to operate on a level beyond their understanding, a level where their usual tactics don't apply. Their intrusion highlights an uncomfortable truth. They see that you have a unique purpose, and they're threatened by it. Deep down, they realize they'll never fully understand what drives you or what makes you different, and this makes them insecure. Their curiosity becomes an attempt to diminish your uniqueness to make sense of something that defies their expectations. But no matter how much they investigate, they'll never fully understand your purpose because it's divinely crafted and spiritually protected. Their actions just show how limited they are. The more they try to control or understand, the more they realize that some things are just out of their reach. It's a reminder that the path of a chosen one is intentionally shielded, and those who try to force their way in are left facing the futility of their own fears. The irony of their failed attempts is undeniable. The more they try to investigate or undermine you, the more they expose themselves. It's almost as if the universe has a way of turning their actions back on them. It's like they're trying to dig a hole to bury you, but instead, they just end up digging their own grave. Every time they try to dig up your past, it just shows how desperate and insecure they really are. It's like they think they're getting power, but really, they're just exposing their own weaknesses. They're not as powerful as they think they are. Their actions might seem like they're just curious or concerned, but they're actually manipulating the situation. They might convince themselves that they're acting out of necessity or that they have good reasons for what they're doing, but with each failed attempt, their true nature is revealed. It's like they're trying to dig a hole to bury you, but they end up filling the hole with their own self-reflection. Sabotage. This isn't just a coincidence. It's almost like their failure is meant to be. God, in all His wisdom, lets their actions unravel right in front of them, forcing them to reveal exactly what they're made of. Every layer of deception they add only exposes more of their hypocrisy and insecurity. They thought they were in control, manipulating the narrative from behind the scenes. But the more they push, the more they're exposed. Their sabotage. Nah, that's not just a coincidence. It's like God's plan. He's letting their actions unravel right in front of them, making them expose their true selves. Every lie they tell just shows more of their hypocrisy and insecurities. They thought they were running the show, pulling the strings from behind the scenes, but the more they push, the more they're exposed. Their failure isn't an accident. It's all part of the plan to show their true intentions. The more they dig into your life, the deeper they fall into their own trap. It's not just about them not getting what they wanted from you. It's about the universe forcing them to see their own powerlessness, their inability to control what wasn't meant for them to control. And in that exposure, they're left with nothing but their own unraveling. The weight of divine protection. When you're chosen, there's a divine protection that surrounds you, something far beyond human comprehension. This protection isn't just a shield, it's an invisible force field crafted by God Himself, ensuring that nothing and no one can break through the boundaries He set for you. People may think they're getting close to uncovering your secrets, prying into your background, or even plotting against you, but they don't realize that any attempt to do so only leads to their own undoing. It's as if God has strategically placed barriers around you that prevent any attack from getting through. These barriers don't just repel negative energy, they confuse and disorient those who attempt to invade your space. What they think is an investigation into your life is actually a setup for their own failure. They are walking right into a trap that was designed not to expose you, but to expose them. Every step they take. The closer they get to you, the deeper they're falling into their own mess. Their plans are being torn apart by forces they can't see or understand. This is the power of divine protection. It's not just passive, it's active. It actively works to stop any attempt to disrupt your peace, your purpose, or your journey. Those who think they can manipulate or control your path are met with confusion and frustration. Their intentions, no matter how hidden or strategic, they're always thwarted. What they thought would be a successful probe into your life becomes the thing that exposes their true nature and orchestrates their defeat. For the chosen ones, this divine protection is unwavering. It's a constant reminder that you're not fighting battles alone. God has already set things in motion, and those who seek to harm or investigate you will find that they've actually walked into a carefully planned downfall that they can't escape. Number 11. Their jealousy was their downfall. For many who try to dig into your life, jealousy is the real driving force behind their actions. It's not curiosity or concern, it's a deep-rooted envy that eats away at them. They see the peace, the purpose, or the presence you carry, and they can't comprehend how you maintain it. It frustrates them that you seem untouched by the chaos that consumes others, and they begin to search for something, anything, that they can use to tarnish your image or destabilize your life. They feel entitled to unravel your success or disturb your peace, not realizing that their jealousy is the very thing that will lead to their own destruction. What they fail to understand is that jealousy is a self-destructive emotion. Destructive force, it eats them up from the inside, making them see things wrong and not see the big picture. Anyone who tries to mess with you is afraid of your power and uniqueness. They can't copy or control that. Instead of focusing on their own path, they waste energy worrying about yours, looking for cracks that aren't there. But God's exposure of their actions is a harsh lesson. It's not just about revealing their intentions, it's about showing them that envy only weakens them and ultimately leads to their downfall. They may think they can disrupt or destroy what you've built, but they're powerless to harm what God has already blessed. Their envy blinds them to the truth. No amount of prying, no matter how invasive, can touch what's divinely protected. Their attempts aren't just futile. It's like the universe is orchestrating these attempts to show that jealousy is just a self-destructive cycle. God has already blessed you with a purpose and peace that they can't even understand, and no matter how hard they try, they'll never be able to change that. Number 12, a reminder that no harm can reach a chosen one. At the end of the day, when they try to investigate or undermine you, it just shows that they're powerless against you. It's like a sign from God that no matter what they try, they can't touch those He's chosen. The more they try, the more they fail, and in their failure, a big truth becomes clear: those chosen by God are protected in a way that's just too strong to break. It's not just a shield, it's a force field that keeps out all the bad energy. It's like a shield that blocks out any negative energy, any attempts to mess with you, or any harmful intentions. This protection is always on, no matter how many times people try to mess with your head. Every failed attempt just shows that God's got your back, keeping you safe and ensuring that nothing bad can happen. No matter how much they try to dig up dirt on you or spread gossip, they can't reach you. It's like the harder they try to mess with your peace, the more they show that they can't touch what's untouchable. The message is clear: God's got your back, and nothing can destroy what He's destined for you. No matter how many times they fail or how smart they think they are, they'll always end up empty-handed. They're fighting against forces they can't see or understand, and it's like they're handing you the win every time. This is a reminder to you and the world that when you're chosen, you're untouchable. Your protection is woven into your purpose, and no one, no matter how powerful they think they are, can ever break that divine shield. In the end, the message is clear: when you're chosen, you're divinely protected. Every attempt to disrupt your peace, every effort to invade your privacy, every whisper of gossip it's clear that you're chosen, and you're untouchable. Your protection is part of your purpose, and no one can break that divine shield, no matter how powerful they think they are. The message is undeniable: when you're chosen, you're divinely protected. Any attempt to disrupt your peace, any effort to invade your privacy, any whisper of gossip or smear campaign only serves to reveal the true strength of God's hand over your life. Those who try to manipulate or control your narrative are met not with success, but with failure, as their actions are continuously undone by a higher power. It's a reminder that nothing can harm what God has set apart. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, no matter how hard they try or how often they fail. So let this be a moment of clarity for you: the chosen ones are untouchable, not by their smear campaign is just a sign of how powerful God is in your life. Those who try to control your story always fail because a higher power undoes their actions. It's a reminder that nothing can harm those who God has chosen. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, no matter how hard they try or how often they fail. So let this be a moment of clarity for you. The chosen ones are untouchable, not by their own power, but because they walk with a force far greater than anything the world can throw at them. Their investigations, their jealousy, and their attempts to undermine all fall flat in the face of divine protection. This is the truth they'll never understand, but one you'll always carry with you as you continue to rise, unscathed and unshaken. You are proof that divine favor doesn't just shield you, it reveals the truth of those around you. Their exposure isn't just about their failures. It's about God showing you just how secure you truly are. So stand tall, knowing that no matter how dark the attacks may seem, you are always covered, always protected, and always moving forward on a path that can't be stopped. If this message resonates with you, if you feel the power of divine protection in your life and the truth that nothing can harm you when you're chosen, then don't miss out on more of this profound content. Hit that subscribe button and join a community of like-minded Individuals who understand the strength that comes from walking in your purpose. Stay tuned for more eye-opening revelations, powerful insights, and the truth that will keep you one step ahead. Don't just watch, be part of this journey. Subscribe now, and let's continue rising together, untouchable and unstoppable. God bless you. It's about God showing you just how secure you are. Stand tall, knowing that no matter how dark things get, you're covered, protected, and moving forward on a path you can't stop. If this message speaks to you, if you feel the power of divine protection in your life and the truth that nothing can harm you when you're chosen, don't miss out on more of this content. Hit that subscribe button and join a community of like-minded individuals who understand the strength that comes from walking in your purpose. Stay tuned for more revelations, insights, and the truth that will keep you one step ahead. Don't just watch, be part of this journey. Subscribe now, and let's continue rising together, untouchable and unstoppable. God bless you.